All right, hello. It is Elwood EQ, and I am trying to keep my voice up as always. Recording on my Mac here, and hang on a second here. I'm trying to make sure things are cool. Okay, things are cool. Still a little bit of a newbie. Okay, no, it's just going to bring it up. Okay, there we go. All right. So yeah, it's recording and everything. All right. Hello. All right. I am. So I'm going to buff up here a bit. I'm in Larian's Inn. Starting zone for the newest X pack, and I think today I'm going to give a few tidbits of what I've done with my pets and what I've decided to do and whatnot, and my philosophy going forward on my main tune on my main server, which is the Kazakh's Thule server, CT server. And I'm also going to do a little bit more gameplay than I have been. I don't know. I tend to kind of think of stuff as I'm playing, like, oh man, I should have mentioned that in a video or some crap like that, you know. So, you know, if you don't like to just watch the kind of grindy gameplay that I'm doing, soloing by myself, and if I run into a rare, you'll see that. But I'm not guaranteeing I'm not going to stop my recording. I just record straight, put this stuff on. Frankly, I'm not even exactly completely sure why I even do this, but I do it. And okay, so for the pets, everybody, let's say at max level, max AA, been recommending to steer away from the tank pet and go to the DPS pet, sometimes referred to as the rogue pet. I got a bunch of pet illusions and things like that, but as a general rule, sometimes I just like to have the spell illusions that you saw me do for this, this pet right here. I got the mottled bone spell illusion. They last super long, right? So you really only have to worry about maybe refreshing it every time you do all your long-term buffs. And with the 2-hour buffage of that you have with the other pets you can either buy at the marketplace or you get through other means or whatever, those usually only last a couple hours. All right, so here we go. I am going to head off. Let me make sure. I'm going to head off to tomorrow's. No, you know what? I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go to this place here. What's it called again? The Keep. Ankexfen Keep. Whatever. Go into this keep. There's a mob called the Loremaster that drops heroism focuses, and I still got 2 more T3 multi-stat focuses I need to get, and they take heroism. These right here, the fortitude ones, go for the ones that have AC on them. I'm going to get on a mount here. I'm going to get on this one. That one's... Sometimes I like to put that one on because it's kind of cool. Doesn't go super well with the everything I got. This one right here, this is my favorite. This is so Necro-y. It's not even funny. Shadow Knight Necro-y. It just fits, man. And then when I get my I have a Dracnid, sort of, you know, like Dracnid healer that I use a lot. Excuse me. And it's just like super epic, you know. That's just very typical. But I don't know. I'm just kind of in the mood. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. This frightful Minulon, whatever, Minulon. And I'm making a pledge to play in first person for immersion. And as I'm traveling, I think I go this way. Let me look at the map here. I go that way? Yeah, I go this way. Whoops, what the hell is there? Oh, that's just a bush. Okay. Oh, the pet. I tricked him out. I decided that, you know what? I don't have much money. Look at this. I got 69K in money. And I'm generally a pretty poor player anyway. Especially when I come into an X-Pack late, because I rely a large amount on the barter system to just sell to people that do the crafting and stuff like that. I sell mats that are specific to the expansion, and that's a good way to oh, come on, dude. There we go. That's a good way to get some money up and everything. Once in a great while, if I get real desperate, I might get a choose to get like a chrono and just sell it. You know, all the boxers, they love those chronos, man. They need them. They need and want those chronos for all their accounts. They love them, so they're willing to pay through the nose for them. On my server, it's just starting to get up over 5 million plat. They can sometimes somebody will, you know, try to buy them for 4.5. But as a general rule, 5, sometimes even 5.5 million plat is what a chrono goes for on the CT server. So at least that I've seen. I don't always like to look at this stuff, and I pay attention to that a huge amount, but. And up there where that little castle thing is on the map, that's where the Loremaster is. It's a super easy, whoops, wrong one. Super easy camp. It's a very chill camp. I like chill camps. It's got to be prepared to FD if he happens to be right up here. If he spawned. If he has, you'll hear him cackle. Nope. Okay. I'm trying to stay true to the whole first person. To position myself, I might come out real quick just to make sure, because I got, once I, you know, make sure he's not up over there. He does not spawn in the middle there. He spawns on these sides, and he doesn't. So I'm going to pick a corner here. And I'm going to position myself and cheat just a little bit. Actually, it didn't look too bad. So lined up there, cool, perfect. Excuse me. Oh boy, sneezies. Okay. So before I get going on my little camp grind here, I'm gonna see who's in here. I'm the only one in here. Awesome, I can take my time. Okay. Pet gear list. There we go. I'm currently using a DPS pet, and I got these, merc things in there, which, because they add so much dexterity, it's a huge amount of dexterity, and I don't think there's any cap limit to the stats on the pets. I've noticed that the procs from the weapons and the procs from the ally buff goes off a lot more when you just put as many of the merc gear on there as you can. And I've also ditched the summon stuff, and this is why I'm so poor. Got full sets of the visible armor from the Conflagrant, which is from Ring of Scale, I believe. We have a excuse me, this winter, this December, there's a new X-Pac coming out, and they'll probably have another trade skill armor that's similar to the Conflagrant. I'm guessing the pattern holds that they've been doing. They're all about templates and patterns, and when they're developing EQ into these days, it's just you can see stuff coming a mile away. I haven't read anything. You could call this a rumor if you want, but it's just what I expect. If you're a crafter, you're going to get more stuff like this that you're going to be able to make money off of. Which also means the mats that people can just kind of farm for this stuff are going to be valuable. And this is good for my bank, so that's awesome, man. And I got stuff here that this stuff is in my bag that I've camped, taken the time to camp a little bit, so I have a few things. I'm behind on these rings because you can put 2 of these on the pets that I've discovered recently. I don't know if it's always, I still maintain it hasn't always been like that. It used to just have 1 slot for the finger on the pets, not 2, but I think through the changes they've been making, let me put this down here. These are the AUGs I've been upgrading. I think the changes they've been making, they've changed the inventory of the pets maybe a little bit. Either that or it's just totally out to lunch before, which is possible. Anyway, so there we go. So we got all kinds of Conflated on there. I've gone with these weapons on the Rogue pet after trying the summoned swords, because the summoned stuff had a backstab damage bonus on them, which was actually 10 points more than what these have on them for the backstab damage bonus. And the proc on the summoned swords are massively way more. It's like, what, 16k or something like that, and this is only like 5k. Yes please kind of a thing. But because of the Rogue pet, all the other things, everything besides that, the backstab damage bonus is a minor loss. The procs on the weapons, a little bit more of a bigger deal for sure. But all the AC you get from both these weapons on there, and the hit points is just, and the attack, the extra attack you get, which is more, it's just, you just can't say no to that. Unless you simply don't have the resources to be able to buy or farm these. I bought these. I broke my rule. I think one was like around 50 or 60k, but the other one was like 100k. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting another hook. I want 2 hooks. So, whatever. I got 2 of the bands here from Shoru. I've been camping him for a couple days, and not one damn ring dropped. And I don't have it blocked in my loot filter, so just really, really bad luck. I've only killed him a few times, too. He's been kind of shy lately. Then, of course, the waste. You want to go with something with 43% haste and all the other stuff here. It's a huge boost to pets. If you have the resources, otherwise use a mask. And the summon gear. Here's the general rule for me that I think is pretty consistent. If you group a lot and raid a lot, just use the summon gear. Don't bother tricking your pet out like this unless you just have more money you know what to do with. Or you have more time you know what to do with. Right? Because your pet's going to die. Or you're going to die, and then both your pets, if you keep a tank pet and a DPS pet like I do, I got a tank pet that I put in my pocket. I put it in my pocket, right? So it's like when you, where's that? It's like when you suspend minion and switch them out, there's 2. You basically, as a pet class, have 2 pet slots, and it keeps all the buffs and gear and everything when you have it all the way maxed up at the highest levels. I could show the AA here, and, I'm max 8, so I got 8 out of 8, but it saves everything on it. Passive buffs, gear, everything. illusion, even everything, it gets saved on it. I right click this to pop it up really fast. That's what I did. So you know, in case you're not aware of that. Again, I play on, I think it's advanced. Yes. I play on a iMac. Here's the proof right here. It's an Apple M3. I think I adjusted these a little bit, but it's, you know, it is what it is. And it's doing fine. I use a thing called crossover that sort of auto configures the wine environment so that I can run Windows software through the crossover through wine. And a lot of people do that, especially if they have to do stuff for work. Maybe at work they work on Windows, but at home they have Apple computers for their home stuff. So they have to try to use wine to be able to get some work done at home for work, stuff like that. So they'll use a wine environment. Some people might do it like that. A lot of people choose to use VMs for to have Windows installed through a VM to do work stuff. That's a little bit more reliable, but because of the rules for EverQuest Live, you can't be running in a VM. I think some people do it and they just roll the dice. I'm a rule follower. I don't want to do that. Just keep it simple. It's not that big a deal. If there's a few textures screwed up here and there, you haven't really seen it in my videos, I don't think, too much, but it's really the textures for, so far, weapons. Also the Lizard Man Merc that you can get, that's all white. All the textures for that guy are screwed up. So it looks like a kind of a ghost lizard if you see one. It's kind of funny. There are a few things. The mosquito mobs in Timoris Falls, around there, they're all white for me. I suspect they're probably not supposed to be all white, so there's a texture missing in the translation for my translation layer in wine for that. I'm just relying on I'm not going to mess with the settings a whole lot. I'm just going, you know what, that'll get fixed eventually. Once in a great while, if I've heard there's been a recent pretty update to the Macs, so I might mess with the crossover settings a little bit, see if Metal, it's the Mac graphics stuff, if Metal can help with that. They have some other fancy tech stuff I'm not going to get into. I worked in IT a couple of years, and I've been kind of a tinkerer for a lot of my life with computers since, for like the last 25 years or so. Longer, maybe closer to 30, but I've never had a huge amount of money to spend. And if you're going to be messing around and tinkering, you're going to break stuff and you're going to have to buy stuff, and it can be a drain on your finances, especially if you're younger and you don't have a lot of wiggle room. Sometimes other people have a lot. It's all relative. See, what was I getting at? So that's the system I'm playing on. What was I gonna do? Let me just go ahead and start killing stuff, and so you can see I use the keyboard, and I just 1, 2, 3. I use all the numbers here, so I don't have to be clicking on stuff up here. When the mob shows up for the rare mob, I'll manually click this, and that's it. Everything else, these are set up to go off of this spam button here. And when I hit these, all these things will, these buffs, these for the rares and stuff, kind of boost my survivability and DPS for the pet and everything like that, will trigger, and I'll be off and going. I basically use pretty much the same spells for when I'm fighting a rare. The biggest difference is I click this and this, and then I've just do the normal fighting like I do with these trash mobs. Necros are pretty cool. All right, let me send the pet in. And it's going to put the ally buff on him. And I'm going to do that to put some debuffs on there. And I'm going to go to town just with the dots. Something I've recently changed for me is I've gone with the old combo dot in my lineup. I got tired of waiting on the new X-Pack for the updated combo, and it just feels better, that combo dot in there. And I'm not really losing. Matter of fact, the DPS I'm gaining from being able to have this really long dot in there, this is kind of a wash. It's not that much of a, when you're using the rogue pet, it's all good. Then I hit the spam button once. I'm hitting the number 6 solo spam. 2 for that. And then another time for the immolate, just to see if I can slow it. I can't, and that's okay. On the trash, doesn't matter that much. Oddly enough, it gets resisted on the trash a little bit more than on the rares. Why is that, you might ask? I'm hitting, on my keyboard it's command, but whatever you do to help you, I did command 2 and 3 so I could use the keyboard to cast this one and this one, because I don't want to recast that one because you want the after effect to hit. And I'm just gonna throw in another little dude here, and I really don't need to invis, but I just have a habit of doing it. And I'm just gonna let this DPS pet and the little guy just kind of finish the mob off with the dots. Is this going to the second level yet? Yeah, it is. So the second level of this, which still gets all the buffs for my passive AAs and everything, it's 24k a tick. That is, for a Necro, that is massively huge. You get into that range and you're easily critting for like well over 1 million. I don't check my damage as much as some people do. And send him in and kill this guy. And just kind of go through, throw the dots on there. I really, another benefit to sort of using just this many spell slots is, yeah, you can be able to have something like this in there to be able to slow mobs if you want. Or you can have I also have another one where I have the rune spell in there. If I don't care as much about slowing mobs. That way this can always stay on for me, and this and this. This is my flex sort of thing, spell slot. And because I've done that, and because it affects this row a little bit, it gives me an extra slot there to be able to have Levant on here instead of having to come up here and click it if I have to resort to using it. And that is now, I get to slow. Awesome. See this right here? I have changed that live mob to an undead, which means I can cast this on it to slow it. And it's kind of nice. It does all that stuff. It makes the makes the pets do a little bit more DPS because it's easier for to hit the mob, and the mob has fewer defenses. Pets survive a little bit better, and overall it's pretty good. The slow portion of it is okay. Obviously, shaman and enchanters are gonna laugh at that, but I don't box, and I kind of keep to myself a lot. And once in a while, if it's somebody I'm sure I really know, I know didn't game for a long time, I group with them once in a while. I give up camps to people if they're trying to get their achievements done or something like that, like for the hunter stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, just play through, man. I'll go, I'll go FK for a little bit. So I'll FD and go FK for a little bit and go either get something to eat or get a drink or go to the bathroom or just kind of, chill for a little bit. Come back and check. If they're still kind of working on getting the rare, for that camp, then I'll just go, okay, well, they're still kind of busy. Maybe I'll log off for an hour or so and they'll come back. It's a game. I like to be a team player as far as try to get along with other people. I'm just trying to get along, man. It's not that big a deal, and I'm no threat to any of their real game ambitions because I'm perfectly fine with the T3 gear and maybe kind of grabbing some of the ultra rare loot here and there. Recently, a few weeks ago, I got kind of lucky on this, and I actually got an ultra rare thing to drop. I got this to drop, and it was an upgrade, obviously, for me from the T3 stuff, so there we go. So I have one piece of technically raid gear on me, a R1 level of gear. I think they have R2. I don't know if they have R3 for the raid gear, but they have the uber level raid gear is only attainable through actual raiding now. For a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, up through Empires of Canark and Ring of Scales, through that part, through those X packs, the ultra rare loot was equal to the best raid loot, and a lot of people didn't like that. So they changed it, and they kind of scaled back a little bit the ultra rare stuff, so that it was more on the level of raid 1 instead of raid 2. So that's fine. And I just chill, man. Normally, I'm yakking now, but normally I'd be watching TV. I have a TV on my desk here, and just watch something maybe on Netflix or some local programming, the news, whatever it is, whatever time of evening or day it is. Today's the day off for me, so a lot of time. Sometimes sometime in the morning, if I feel so inclined, I might do a recording. I'll review it later in the evening and go, should I put this up? Sure, yes, no. I don't do it that often. That's why I don't put videos up all that often. Was it like once a month or something? I don't know. Sometimes I don't keep track. It's this, I throw them up there, What else? So I showed you the list on the pet. So if you raid, if you group a lot, just use the summon gear. You're gonna die enough that you're gonna be stuck, putting a lot of money into summon gear. Unless money's no object and time's no object, don't bother tricking your pet out. It's not that big of a deal. If you're like me and you're sort of a little more antisocial in the game, I don't like calling myself antisocial completely, but a lot of times I just like to chill myself. I pop on and off the game to the point where I don't want people relying on my participation unless I know I can really for sure block off a good 2 or 3 hours for sure, and they can count on me, and then I can group, so. And because of that, I've chosen to kind of trick out both my pets, both the tank pet and the DPS pet. I got tricked out with flagrant gear for the visibles, and then all the other stuff that I have in my bags, lining my bags like crazy for the non-visible spots. So these pets are geared to the best of my ability. Oh, I can slow this guy again. Awesome. To the best of my ability at their EM level of 26, because that's the T3 earring. Current max group level of earring in this X pack. And that pet is pretty good. Some people are kind of agitated that It's not maybe one more level higher for the EM level, for enhanced minion level for the pets on that gear, but I think relative to the, comparable to the low power level, that is the rares in general, not all the rares, but in general, in this X pack, then it's perfectly reasonable. It's no big deal. Sometimes when they do little things like this with the gear and everything, they're doing it with some wisdom, and it's because they're trying to do sort of a slow kind of rebalancing of certain specific things. Other times it's not. It's hard to tell. They get enough new devs coming in and out of, I think the company that makes this game now, that they're using it as a cash cow to fund others, to try to fund other stuff, I think. Hey, there we go. We got the rare. Sometimes he's shy. Today he's not shy. So here we go. Now we're going to see. So what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to try to slow him. If I can't, I'm going to put the rune thing in there to make sure this pet can stay alive. All right. So here we go. The lore keeper. I have you now. Let's do that. I'm going to do the pet power. DPS. And now let's start on that before I really try to slow him. Actually, I'm not going to bother slowing him till the end of my until I put all the dots on. Rotation, there you go. That's the word. My little dot rotation. My dots, if you haven't noticed, I go from long duration to the shorter duration in order. All right, now we can give it a shot. Ooh. Oh, that didn't work, but we'll give it a shot again. Many times it does work because this this buff right here, the twin cast buff, will make it twin cast. Oh, he doesn't want to be slowed. All right, so we're going to go rune on him. And then we're going to go ahead and put these back on. This is a proliferate. This, no, it's not. It's got a ways to go. So we're doing okay. Stick all the dots on again. And it's getting there. That gets resisted a good amount, but if it gets resisted, I don't care. So then I'm hitting the spam button now, and those two, now it's going to do that. You just spam it. I got two different runes I can slap on. One's a spell, this one here, and the other one is the AA one. And as you can tell, I mean, look at my pet. He's doing fine. He's doing super fine. It's no big deal, man. Hey, look at this. Giddy up Buttercup, man. Heroism. I like it. Oh, yeah. Just leave that there. What else did I get? Nothing. But that's good enough for me, man. So I'm not gonna mess with that while I'm doing the recording, but I'm gonna use that, stick in one of these. You gotta really kind of try to judge the best place to put these. It's the whole thing. So I'm not gonna do that now. All right, so I did that. So I'm just gonna put back the regular combat. This, actually my philosophy on slowing the mobs didn't work out that time, so I kind of looked bad there. But you know, in my experience, when you have the Heretics Twin Cast on, you know, when you nuke with that, when it twin casts, it gives you an extra chance to get the debuff on there so you can slow the mob. And the slow on the mob from Thule, Scent of Thule, that sometimes even that'll get resisted a little bit, but you got plenty of time to kind of recast that too. I've even had to recast it, to try to cast it a total of 3 times on mobs before the debuff timed out, so that was fine. I think it's very cool that the Necros can actually slow the mobs if they feel like doing it. You know, and it's really just kind of a choice usually. We got plenty of runes, man. You know, we got this AA rune here, and we had the spell rune that, you know, I can flip up on there. You know, if you're a person that you don't want to pay for like 2 extra accounts and then try to box, you know, all 3 at the same time with all their mercs, or even get crazier and box an entire full group and stuff, if you think that's silly, if that's just not your jam, but you kind of miss playing EverQuest, just play a Necro. You could play let me go ahead and redo this. You could play a mage or even a beast lord. I got a beast lord alt, and I have fun on him once in a while, but the way the beast lord pets, their interactions with their pets, feels a little left-handed to me for soloing. But they're built up the way they are because they have a major group value also, besides just the DPS they do. Necros, not so much. The value we bring to really more of a raid than a group is the DPS. We have very few assisting DPS or ADPS skills that we can offer that becomes valuable to a group. Usually a group, even if they're not played, even if each individual character isn't played all that well, will mow through rares like I just did with no problem whatsoever. Hey, you were slowed. I'm going to do, for me it's command, I think it might be alt that allows you, then I just recast 2 and 3, and then I start with 4, which happens to be the 4th spell also, and then it goes down and then puts these 3 on, and that's pretty much going to be done. I might throw a little guy in there for good measure. What the hell? And then just kind of chill and wait for the dude to die. Generally, if he's in like anywhere from like 30% to 34, 35%, this is fine. Dude's gonna die a horrible death, and I can just sit here and regain a little more mana and drink my coffee. Once in a while, if I feel like I really need it, I'll use Death Bloom, which is on my 8 key right down here. But I don't always use that, and I just do these 2 spots for the rare when I'm at this camp. Nothing passed through here. No roamers that I've encountered anyway. At least no roamers that have come along while I've fought. I mean, you're up here kind of high. All the, everything's kind of spaced out here. This is a very easy camp. And when I looked up online, the mobs to kill to try to get those stupid, finish my multi-stat augs, or augments. Everybody calls them augs in chat though. AUG. This mob seemed to be a pretty good one to go. Even if you need the AC augs, obviously, because I don't know why I looted these, but I got 4 of these, and I just got 1 of those. Just need one more focus one, or heroism, and I'm good, man. What am I doing? Oh yeah. So I think we might be getting near the end here. What else? Oh, Fizzlewigs Forum is a streamer that he does lower level content, but he does lower level raids and things like that. Just the general vibe, what he puts out there is pretty cool, and the people that participate with him in his streams for the the raiding and stuff. I don't know if I'd really be into raiding all that much necessarily, but I just think they're kind of a cool group. So I boosted Necro to 100 over on the FV server, and joined his guild there. I interrupted a stream of his a little bit unintentionally. Didn't really mean to do it. Felt like I owed it to him. No. So sorry about that, Fez. A little confusion in the raid, How are you surprised at that, right? But yeah, it's just kind of cool. So I might do some streaming from my activities on there if it becomes consistent. Like I basically plan on going, playing on there about once a week ish. I've seen this DPS pet for mine crit. It's backstab for like 366k before, which is crazy. The last time I really experimented with using DPS pets very much was back in the TOV/COV era of when they redid the Velius zones and stuff, Not too long ago. Well, in my mind, not too long ago. It was like, what was it? 3 years ago, maybe? Damn, I'm old. So, anyway, during that time was the last time I kind of messed with the idea of using a DPS pet. And I only remember them critting. They must have upped the damage or something, man. And it's not just these pets, man. With those summon pets, or the summon weapons, he was critting. Matter of fact, I think that crit was from when he was using a summoned weapon. It was crazy, man. I don't remember them being near that high. All the the progression of DPS and mob hit points. 3 years is 3 years, so there's that. But it seems to still be a pretty big difference. They must have decided to kind of boost that up a little bit or something. I don't know. I could just be out of touch. Who knows? But yeah, this is the setup I've kind of landed on here. It'll probably last me all the way through the rest of the 6X pack up until the new one. And then with the new one, I'll get the new combo spell, and I'll be able to have more up to date, because this is just the 120 one. I'll get the 125 one. Will have the more current disease buffs on there, or disease dots. But this one's still doing fine. As you can tell, I took down a rare, no problem. Most of the rares, whether T1 or really even T2, are pretty much at that level. It doesn't kill you. I mean, it's not that hard for a Necro, or for a box group that's, I would imagine, probably like a Shadow Knight, Shaman, Bard, which is a very common, popular combo, and then whatever mercs you choose to kind of throw in there. Easily, no problem. As long as the Shadow Knight can tank the stuff. I don't have a real good relative idea on how tank classes can tank certain, especially current mobs, especially rares or raid bosses or anything like that, because I either play like a pet class. I played a ranger for a long time, kind of maining that, and I got discouraged with him a little bit because I couldn't really take down any current content rares by myself. I could mow through trash mobs like there's nobody's business, but so, and I was actually, man, I tell you what, I think I probably averaged, just playing the way I do, I probably averaged getting about 4, when I was maining my Ranger, probably about 4 ultra rare drops a month, 3 or 4, which is pretty high for those things, crazy high. As long, unless you're like a boxer slash, botter or whatever, and you're cheating like that, fine. Not that boxing is cheating, but when you're doing it through automation, that is cheating. It just is, man. Might be cheating. Do I? Yes. And one more with that. Reaching Shadow. Combo. And Fire, whatever. Pyre. The lesser Pyre. There we go. Now, see, we're at like 29%. I'm done casting. They can finish it off. And I drink a little bit more of my coffee. Excuse me. So FV, we'll see. I'm not going to put a video up of any of my FV activities on that server anytime real soon, unless I feel real confident how it's going. I'm still getting used to that lower level Necro. It's been a long time since I've been level 100, and I don't boost things a lot, so I'm getting a feel for how my system's got to go with that guy. And Frontier Mountains used to be a second home to me during the Empire of Canark, and because it's, the FV servers got access to all the X packs, I can go there. I think on the 100 Necro, and probably at least what they call root and rot, the Trents there. I'll use the clicky to. No, the clicky for that EOK is worthless. I hate where they send you on that one. So, but yeah, I'll just, use the portal from the guild hall to get there. And root and rot, the bonus XP on the server is supposed to be really awesome. So you couple that with the lesson, and I ought to probably blow through the first couple levels to get the first 102 pet. That'll be fine. And come on, boom. Nope. Nothing's gonna slow this guy down. He is determined to try to whack my pet as hard as he can, as fast as he can. Couple recasts here. The third. And now number 4. Look at that, he's already down to 30%. This might have been a little bit of a waste even casting these 3, the medium dots. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. I think it fizzled on the last one, but I don't need it. He's good. He's going down. Oop. There we go. Good old Clem, healing, supporting. Like the frogs, man. I like the black and gold frogs. I'm a big Steeler fan. I don't generally like to talk a lot about. I don't talk or chat in game about like politics, religion, um, anything like that. Sports, I make an exception to because I'm such a big Steeler fan. I'll kind of, if they win, I'm like, hey, here we go, Steelers, and stuff like that. um, but the big no-nos, I don't. If I'm having like say medical issues or something like that, I'm not gonna complain online. I mean, you people are nice, wonderful people. I don't know you. I don't know anybody online, and I'm not gonna dump on the people that I don't really know online any troubles I have or anything like that. I know some people use that as a mechanism. Some people are probably a bit younger than me. They feel comfortable doing that. That's your journey. It is not mine. So, so I try not to do that. The game's the game, man. I like to just enjoy it. I'm done rambling, I think. It's a pretty good spot. And I'm going to let you go. And so you've seen a little bit of my main character in action, a little bit. You've seen spell lineup, what I use. I'm going to go ahead and let you see the names of all the spells. And this being my flex spot, the 10 spot there. Sometimes I put the cascading rune there. But other than that, it stays the same whether I'm fighting a rare or just grinding. And I got some fancy stuff here just for the funds. So yeah. Got bats on the dude. The bats look kind of cool. I think I even have a vampire illusion, but I just like being a dark elf more. Because my original race is a gnome. He's actually a gnome. I put the dark elf illusion on there so that I can have. I think I've mentioned this before, this illusion, but I have this on. It's from a different illusion I have, which is this Plaguebringer. I don't know if they have this in the shop. I just got this in the shop. It adds about 20 something magic, mana regen points on me. And I notice a difference, especially if I'm not using the mount. I notice a bit of a difference. Maybe it's just old school thinking, but I value mana regen a bit. Here I'm mounted with just T3 gear, and not even all of it. I'm missing those 2 Augs. I've got 1275 per tick of mana regen, rocking and rolling. Supplementing my mana regen a little bit with Death Bloom, and then if I really get desperate, I got Blood Magic. If I'm out of mana and I'm, for whatever reason, maybe I've been stupid, maybe I tried to take on a rare and I wasn't full mana, throw that down and just power through the rest of it and recoup after the fight. I'm good. Lots of answers to lots of different situations with the Necro. All right. This is Elwood EQ, and shout out to Fez and all of his gang there. All their funny names. One guy calls himself Cat P. Oh, it's pretty funny. I think Snaggle's another dude. I don't know, man. They're pretty cool. I kind of dig what I'm picking up what they're putting down a little bit. I like their vibe. So anyway, y'all take care and see if I can do this more gracefully than I normally do. And I am out.